mean, right on me. He's like, all right, where's the action? What's going on here? And as soon as I'm turned around, hanging my rattle bag, and out of the corner of my right eye, I just see some tines coming. I mean, walking dead at me. I was like, oh, here we go. I thought I heard him crash, and I didn't. At that point, like I said earlier, it's just kind of like you're in a blur. You're like, what just happened?
Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. My name is Cody Johnson, and I'll be your host.
I'm one happy hunter right now, man. Alright guys, here she is.
Here at the Thin Blue Line Outdoors, we have 3 goals. Show you a good time.
I just shot her.
Teach you something. Planting some clover down. Lead by example.
It's looking good. Great job. Congratulations. Thank you, sir.
If I can accomplish one of those 3, that's a win in my book. Thanks for listening. Be safe out there. Hello everyone. This is Thin Blue Line Podcast, episode 6. So today I have 2 guests. One, unfortunately, you know already, is Nate Atkins. But I'm gonna let him take over the intro from here.
So obviously you guys know me. I've been on the podcasts and videos. I got my good friend Mr. Matt Rave here with us today. I've known Raver since 4th grade. I think we know each other for 16 years or so, roughly. Unfortunately. Matt and I grew up together, played all sorts of sports together. He's always been the hunter of the friend group. So now that I got into hunting, there's even more for us to talk about, and he likes to make fun of me for my hunting style and skills, or lack thereof. But yeah, Raver, want to take over?
Yeah, like you said, my name's Matt Rave. Glad to be on, glad to be joining you. Like you said, unfortunately I've known Nate for a very long time. No, I'm just kidding. Nate's a good guy, and when he started getting into hunting this year, he'd call me and let me know what was going on and getting into it, and it's exciting stuff. So glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you on, Matt. It's good meeting you. We had lunch. Again, I don't know why you're friends with Nate either.
Believe me.
Yeah, here we go. So we haven't been turkey hunting here lately. We're not gonna really cover that on this podcast. Nate will be on another podcast and talk about his turkey hunting experience. I will let you know, as of right now, we have not killed a thing. But we have some good stories to tell.
Not from lack of trying.
Yeah, Nate is learning, so it's been fun. So anyway, but Matt, just kind of, if you want to give us your backstory on how you got into hunting and why you hunt and what's your main species?
Yeah. My grandpa hunted. He got my dad into hunting. Dad got me into hunting. Brothers into hunting. So yeah, it's kind of a family thing on how I got into it. Growing up, did a lot of just kind of sitting in the blind with Dad, going waterfowl, ducks, and geese, stuff like that. And then, once he trusted me enough to climb up a tree with him, we started, going deer hunting together. Still I was a kid. I wasn't hunting, but just tagging along with Dad was always a good time. And then, I wanted to keep doing it. I went through the hunter safety, did the courses, and started hunting. And man, it's been a blast. I enjoy it a lot. I mainly hunt deer, I'd say, but I do some waterfowl as well, and some upland game birds every once in a while when I got some time. But mainly deer, I'd say.
Do the normal progression, like squirrel hunting to waterfowl?
I didn't do a lot of squirrel hunting actually growing up, which is surprising because that's typically what you start on. I originally started, it was like quail and pheasants, upland game, and then that turned into a little bit of rabbit hunting here and there. But that's mainly where I started, and that turned to waterfowl and shotgun season for deer. And then once I got a little bit older and a little bit bigger, I could pull the bow back and started bow hunting and haven't stopped.
Mm-hmm. So I know I'll have you tell a story later on too, but do you still remember your first deer with a bow then?
Oh yeah.
I know for me that's a special moment.
Yeah, big time. It's by myself, which was good. I mean, I don't mind hunting by myself, but big old doe comes in. She's at maybe 4 yards, and I'm sitting there just like not even getting the bow back with, probably took me 30 seconds to try and just pull it back. And once you release that arrow on a deer or any game, really, it's a flash, and you almost black out. You really have to sit there and concentrate as to what just happened. And she takes off up the ridge, and I see her stumble once, but she gets out of sight, and that's when the nerves kick in, and you're just sitting there fired up, like, what's going on? What just happened? Did I hit her right? What's the deal here? But no, it was a good experience. We recovered her that night, so no issues. But that first deer, man, there's nothing like it.
So it's funny how this has kind of gone full circle. Growing up with Matt, he would always have the deer meat and the meat, and I would always go over and eat said deer meat or salami or different things like that. And then now that I'm an adult, Cody is providing me with the deer meat and the bear. I just go like best friend growing up, childhood friend to best friend as an adult, and it's fun that I get meat from a variety of different people.
Now we're gonna make you provide your own.
We're gonna attempt to.
No promises.
As turkey hunting has showed us so far, it's not necessarily the best thing.
This is true. So then, pretty much everybody in your family hunt then, for the most part.
My brother does when he can. My cousin will come up and gun hunt with me, but other than that, it's just, we got a group of guys that are cabin, but not necessarily family, but
Gotcha.
yeah.
I know you mainly focus on whitetail anymore, right? So how was last season for you?
Last season was a really, really good year for me. I killed a doe opening weekend, second day, second evening, killed a doe, good to get some meat down early. Going later in the year, I didn't hunt a lot in October just with work and everything. But then come November, man, and we had unseasonably high temperatures last year in November. It was crazy, but November.
I struggled a lot.
November 3rd I went out. And it was kind of that day. It was like 70, 77. Finally hit like a 55.
Yeah.
And
which normally is not.
Right, exactly. And I went out that day and decided to do an 11:30 to dark sit at one of the spots that we know a lot of activity comes through, and ended up shooting a really, really good 8-pointer. He it's about a 130, 135 8-pointer, big, heavy. Big, heavy, tall, awesome deer. And then late season, I was able to shoot another doe, and my wife was able to shoot a doe. So
that was her first one, wasn't it?
That was her first of last year. She's killed a few in the past.
Okay.
But it was a great year for us. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Is that all those archery only, or do you?
Archery only. I haven't shotgun hunted in a while, but my cousin came up for shotgun. He shot a buck during shotgun season. So it was a good year for me personally. But on our lease, I think maybe 12 deer were taken last fall. So it was a good year.
And then for the crowd here, but I know you hunt here in Illinois.
Yes. Yep. I'm just up the road from you guys, about 35 minutes or so.
So obviously, right now you currently live in Alabama. Have you hunted at all in Alabama?
I haven't. I do have a couple of friends down there who do deer and turkey hunt, and said I could tag along, here and there. It just hasn't really worked out yet.
Big size difference.
I was gonna say, and coming from here, you can't really beat this place. For whitetails at least. I mean, this is the mecca.
Yeah.
So.
Hard to beat. The southern deer are a lot smaller.
Yep.
So you get like.
They don't get those big corn-fed deer.
Yeah. So how long your wife's been hunting? What, a couple years now?
She's been hunting. Her dad was a hunter growing up too, so she's been, in the blind with him, or going with her aunt and uncle are both hunters as well, going with them, and then her stepdad. Now is into hunting, so they go together as well. So she's been hunting long time too, and she's been able to.
So you have any tips with sharing a stand with your wife? Because I've taken my wife out a few times, and my wife she might go once or twice a year with me.
Biggest tip I will say, make sure they are warm.
Yeah, I would agree with
Because your coat is the first one that's coming off. So make sure they're layered up and everything. But no, I mean, my wife, she's been hunting long enough. She knows it. She gets it. She's she's spotting deer before I do most of the time. She's a good hunter.
Your eyes aren't that. It was funny when you came down. So he'll come down every deer season roughly, and if schedules play out, like today I have to go to work. Cody decided to take the day off for whatever reason. Matt and I usually try to get together, whether it's lunch or just hang out real quick. I'll drive to him, he'll drive to me, just depends on how schedules work. But I won't forget, the last time he came down, we met up at a McDonald's in a neighboring area. My significant other, fiance, decided she's gonna go and get COVID. She was not happy that she got the COVID, and so I just met up with him real quick. We stayed in our cars, no contact or anything like that. And we were probably shooting the shit for probably a good 35 minutes.
35-40 minutes probably.
And he just stops like mid-sentence, and I gotta go. I'm like, is everything okay? He goes, yeah, Nicole just texted me, and she's freezing at the deer stand, and I have a coffee. And I was like, oh, yeah, you need to get going. He's like, yeah, she's going to get real mad. And I was like, yeah, you probably should. And then he just stopped and goes, I might have to go through and get a fresh one.
Yeah.
So that was funny. I've known Nicole, again, probably for a good 12 years or so, around there. Love her dad, she's family. Shout out to Nicole. She is definitely a hunter at heart.
Oh, yeah.
She always has the pink camo,
yeah.
pink camo bow and everything like that. So she's really funny. And then hopefully this upcoming season, with me now finally getting into hunting, be able to go out there and film you and Nicole hunting. And I'm excited for that. I'm excited to go out there with you guys.
That kind of segue into some future plans. So again, Nate introduced me to Matt. We hit it off on lunch. It was good. I look forward to hopefully getting to hunt with you later in the future. But I know more likely in the future what's going to happen is I'm going to give Nate a video camera to go hang out with Matt, which
the non-expensive camera.
I don't know how
Backup camera.
I don't know how the footage is going to turn out, but we'll see. But it sounds like they're going to hopefully at least do some deer hunting this fall together.
I can already picture we're going to be able to stand, and Matt's going to be having a shot, everything lined up. I'll be so focused on Matt, but I'm looking at the deer, like, you're going to do it. Get excited for him.
Yeah, should be interesting. I'm going to try to make sure Nate doesn't have a fluorescent orange to go. So
you got to tell them why you say that now.
you'll see if you watch the turkey hunting videos.
I was just going to say, you're doing the turkey hunts.
You'll see what I mean by that. We're trying to piece Nate's camera and his hunting equipment together, and it's going to be a process. We'll just go with that. Be a process. But I know one thing a lot of people are always interested in. I know you and your wife are archery hunting. What bows are you guys using?
I shoot a Matthews Z7.
Okay, that's good.
She shoots the Mission Craze by Matthews. And her bow is the most adjustable bow I think there is ever. You can go from 20 pounds to 70 pounds, and from 19 inches to like 30-something inch draw length.
So obviously, I don't know what that means. I'm just not
the poundage that you pull back and how long.
So why does that matter?
Her bow is just super adjustable. So if she wants to shoot a little bit faster, we can always crank up the dial a little bit. If say my bow breaks and she's gone for a while, I can tune it to fit me rather than her. So yeah, it's just. So
do you want like heavy, like more poundage, the faster it's gonna shoot, or kind of how's that work?
That's in theory the faster or the more pounds you pull back, the faster the arrow's gonna release.
Okay.
Yeah.
So kind of for newbies there with archery, when it comes to your bow, more likely the more weight you have, and a bow is going to max out at a certain amount of weight. 70 is real common for it to max out at. Some bows go up to even 90 to 100. Those are rare, and then some bows top out like at 55 or 60.
Yeah.
But so the more draw weight, more speed or power, depending on how you want to look at it, and then also draw length. plays a certain role. For example, I'm pulling back 70 pounds on my Hoyt, but I only have a 26.5 draw length. So I have short little arms.
Yeah.
So,
Call you a T-Rex.
yeah. So I have more aggressive cams, which makes the bow less forgiving, so it's not as smooth and stable as some bows are, but I get that extra speed out of those cams. Honestly, when it comes to archery, if you do have a longer wingspan, it does help you, because then you can shoot less poundage, but that draw length generates.
So what's the draw length? So you mentioned draw length a couple times. Like, what do you mean by that?
Yes. So I gotta remember exactly what it is.
I was just gonna say, like, where your cable is set up on the bow. There's a cable system.
Yeah.
Where you pull it back to where the let off is.
Okay.
So it gets to a point where you're pulling back, let off.
Okay.
And then you kind of settle in. That's
Gotcha.
your
I just know for hopefully we have some new hunters that are watching this.
Yeah, of course.
And they're going to be listening to this and be like, what the hell does that mean? So I'm here for the people of just starting to hunt to ask these questions. I got your back.
It's a good different perspective, though.
Yeah. As you pull your bow back, you feel that tension. All of a sudden the cams roll over, and you feel that back wall.
Okay.
And then you just keep that slight back pressure with your elbow, and then once you take your target, take your time, hit the release. So that's kind of. I think Nate's going to be hunting with a crossbow this year. He's got my Carbon Express crossbow that I shoot.
Deadly
But-
with it, deadly.
But maybe year after that or so, maybe we can actually talk him into shooting a compound.
We'll stick with the crossbow.
It's fun. You're going to have fun with the crossbow. But I can tell you, like I shotgun hunt for deer. I killed a deer last year. I killed 2 deer last year with my shotgun. And it's fun. I enjoy it. It's still a great way to put meat on the table. It's still awesome if you kill a big buck with it. But if I kill, for example, a doe with my gun and a doe with my bow, that bow kill is more important to me than the shotgun kill.
Well, why is that?
So number one, more challenging because like my shotgun, and I don't have a super fancy shotgun, but I've killed deer at 100 yards with it. My bow, they're at 100 yards. I'm not even in the game yet. I can't even shoot them.
So they're closer.
Yeah.
So much for air.
It's a different kind of mindset of your hunt with a firearm versus if you have your bow. You know with a bow in your hand, your effective range is cut significantly than with a gun.
Yes.
I don't ever take a shot at deer over 40 yards, no matter how comfortable or steady I'm at. I prefer them under 30. If I'm being honest with you.
Closer the better.
right. But such a different experience. Like you said, that bow kill means a whole lot more than shooting one with a gun. But not taking anything away from shooting with a gun. That's still just as fun.
Yeah.
But I think it means a little bit more.
Agreed. A lot of times at 100 yards, especially as long as you're not yelling or moving crazy in the stand, they have no idea you're there a lot of times. If you get one 20 yards, 10 yards, even 40, but if you get them I've had deer from I could almost touch and they had no idea I'm there. And I love it. That's because even if it's a little forky and I know I'm not going to shoot this buck, I start shaking just because how cool it is and
that experience.
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's
Best way to put it. And even with your, my Carbon Express crossbow is kind of mid level. So even there, Nate, you're gonna have to get at least 30 yards. We'll see how you shoot at 40. I have it set and sighted in where you can shoot 40 with it. But for sure, we're not gonna shoot anything past 40.
We were shooting probably about 30, 35 down there.
Yeah. And then I have it set where I know where it hits at 50, but same thing. So with a gun, if I hit one twig, I'm probably okay. But you still have that chance. With a bow, you hit a twig, you have no idea.
That arrow can go every single direction.
Good. I like it.
And my brother Colton, which I want to have on the podcast eventually, he's killed a lot of deer with a shotgun. He just this year, finally, out of all the years, he was able to start killing deer with his bow. And you could ask him. I was there the first day when he did kill early season last year, and then he killed a doe later on. But both times he was pumped. And he's killed some nice bucks throughout his lifetime with a shotgun. And especially when he's younger, he was super excited. But I would compare his last buck that he's killed compared to that doe he killed early. He was more pumped about that doe just because it was archery. He had it with he was within 20 yards of that doe.
Yeah.
I had no idea he was there, and it's just it's exciting. With Ryan and Jesse, and they have killed a lot of deer with a shotgun, and they're still. Jesse's finally getting it together with his bow. Ryan, he's still looking for that first bow kill, and you can ask them, like, they get super excited when it comes to archery just because, again, how close those animals get, and it is such a challenge.
So what would be your guys' advice? Obviously, you guys are experienced hunters. You've done it for multiple years. It's always been in your family. When it comes to bow hunting, I guess, if you're just beginning into bow hunting, I mean, what are some tips that you would say would help? 'Cause I know one thing, you're never supposed to dry fire your bow. I know that's a big no-no. That's something I actually do know. I've heard multiple times people tell me that are hunters. So I guess, what are some things that can help you, A, practice, or B, get comfortable and familiar with your bow?
Well, you just nailed it on the head right there. Practice. That is the number one most important thing you can do as an archery hunter. If you're not hitting bullseye at 20 yards and you try and take that bow out with you, it's not going to be any different out there than it is. You sit in the backyard, now you're shaking because a deer is at 20 yards from you now. So yeah, I mean, you nailed it. Practice. I'd even say if you're getting brand new into it, you don't need to go out and get the most expensive bow on the market. You can find something affordable, and it'll still get the job done for you until you actually get into it and see what you like and what you don't like.
You can buy some fairly, I don't want to say cheap, but they're good price bows. The bears, they come out, Fred Bear, they come out with the Ready to Hunt package for like $300 to $400. Come with sights, rest. I think the only thing you need to buy is a release and arrows by the time you're done.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's what I had at first back in like 2005, maybe 10 is what I had at first, and that's what I killed my first animal with my brother. The 2 deer he killed this year. It was a Ready to Hunt package by Fred Bear. I don't remember exactly what the model of the bow was, but like he said, practice. With a gun, you shoot it once or twice a year. You're probably okay.
I would say along with the practice, if you got a big jacket or something, make sure you're shooting that too, because you don't want that
So the
string
clothing that you're going to be out hunting with.
So you don't want that string to all of a sudden you're up there and it's tangled up in your coat and you can't get it pulled back, or if you do release and it hits your arm and that arrow kicks off sideways, you don't want that to happen.
So I think another thing that I know as a new hunter I didn't really think about, but like now I'm starting to think more about it. There's definitely a difference in weather for hunting. So like when you're practicing your bow, like in the summertime, I feel like it's going to be a little bit different when it's colder, your hands are colder, you're not feeling
Like
as
cable
much.
doesn't want to pull back
quite
as smooth.
So I guess my thing is like, October-ish, like late September, early October, is that when you really want to get that bow out and start practicing more and more? Or
So
when do you suggest going
I understand that's not a bad concept, which a lot of times if I'm going to hunt in the afternoon, the fact that I live on my farm where I hunt, I'll shoot a couple shots into the target and then I'll go out. However, the summertime is kind of when you build your fundamentals, your foundation, There's like
build your confidence and sight everything in. And
like with policing, we work on our fundamentals a lot. You can do dry fire. Same thing. You can't obviously dry fire your bow, but targets, getting some arrows downrange, working on that form. Another thing, because there is some technique in shooting a bow. Obviously with you have a couple people you can rely on, but if you are brand new into archery, go to your local bow shop if you don't have anybody, and
or watch some of the videos that we'll post in the summertime for you.
We work on that. It's still good. Like you can watch obviously some videos, but it's going to be hard for you to see exactly what your technique is. It's good to have somebody watch because you can pull back, and I can start elbow, kind of hit your elbow a little higher. Hey, get your footwork down, and kind of help you out with that way.
Okay.
So again, go to your local bow shop, and go that route.
Remember the last podcast I told you had a speech impediment issue.
Kicks in.
You saw it.
Kicks in every now and then. Let's see. Another thing I want to add about clothing. Gloves.
Okay.
Gloves are a big thing because in summertime you're not shooting with gloves on.
Yeah.
But then it's you hunting during the rut. You got this big buck coming in. It's 20 degrees out. You got this big thick glove. It will just changes a little bit. So
the gloves I wear archery are are really, really thin because I'm, same way I don't want a big puffy glove. I've been shooting barehanded all summer, and so my archery gloves are really thin. Just for that reason that you gotta load up on some hand warmers if that's the case to keep the hands warm.
It's funny as we're sitting here, you guys are talking about being experienced hunters, and I'm a newbie. You just look at the clothing. I mean, both of you guys got camo on right now. We're in a hunting type style season with turkey, and then I'm over here in just a nice bear sweatshirt.
Back in neon orange. Speaking of that, I think most hunters are kind of, but I know I'm a gear junkie. I buy probably too much hunting gear.
Yeah.
I gotta ask, what camo? What's your go-to?
Scent blocker, I think is what I got right now.
It's a good brand.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Boots are the lacrosse boots. Yeah.
I need to invest in those as we've seen during turkey season.
Nate will be spending some money.
Well, we were getting ready to go turkey hunting. It was here 2 mornings ago, and me just being me, I'm waiting for him naturally to get to where we're meeting at because it seems like I'm always there early or on time.
I do have to pack all your stuff for you.
I was telling him when we were walking out, and I was like, man, I was looking at some of the prices on there, and I was like, holy hell, these are expensive. And, Cody made a great point, though. It's like, you don't have to get, like, the top-notch $200 plus camo, especially if you're just starting out. Like, I know me personally, just starting out, I'm not going to invest the $200 to $300, like, clothing and stuff like that. Like, I definitely plan on being a hunter. Like, there's no doubt in my mind. I have a blast doing it. Hopefully I get to kill some game here soon so I can feel the actual hunting. But like, new hunters specifically, like, don't feel like you have to buy the $200-$300 brand name. Like, I mean, if you have some hunting buddies like I have here, Cody and I are similar size. I'm a little bit taller than he is. He had some clothes that I could borrow for turkey season. If you don't have any hunting buddies that, you're the guy that's getting into hunting now to hopefully get other people into hunting, don't feel like you have to spend that $200-$300. Now, if you have the money to shell out, by all means, go for it. But I did go online. I did find some nice $30 stuff, some $40 stuff here and there. So I don't go for the name brand. Don't get suckered into that just because you're all excited to get to hunting. Get stuff that's going to be affordable and comfortable for you. That's just my biggest thing.
Yeah, if you got like $60, $70, you can just go out and buy, a hat that looks just like this with the logo. You could send me this. And, or a black hoodie works too.
Yeah,
we got those for sale. Just saying.
Isn't there some sort of logo on?
I think check out the thin blue line. Might be able to find something to get by.
Man, my marketing skills really paid off on that.
Other than that, before we let Matt end it with a hunting story, you guys got anything else you want to talk about, or?
I think it's just it's just fun, like seeing 2 lives come together. So obviously both these guys are going to be in my wedding that's coming up. Really wanted to get these 2.
We got a plan bachelor party.
I'm
so
scared. I'm terrified for that. Just let them know. But I just think it's really cool. Some people don't talk about hunting brings people together and stuff like that. Like obviously you have it in your family, and I mean hell, I've been in the Rave family for God knows how long with your grandpa, your dad, your mom. I mean, heck, I text Mama Rave every day.
I was gonna ask you just call your mom.
Yeah. I call his mom. I call Mama Johnson. So I mean, it's fun seeing how different lives, how now you 2 now know each other.
Right.
So I think it's a blast. I mean, even your wife, I mean, she's family. I know her side of the family real well, all her brothers and sisters. So it's fun getting everybody together, and I think that's a part that gets overlooked when it comes to hunting is the family aspect of it. Well, you might not be blood, but the saying goes, blood's not always thicker than water. So, and this is a perfect example right here. I mean, got 2 of my best buds here now. I'm getting into hunting, so I just think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
Alrighty, before I kick it off to Matt here for a good hunting story. Again, I know I've been a week behind on the podcast, so we're gonna This one will be coming up shortly, and then I'm going to try to do weekly podcasts. So I got some people lined up. I know we're going to have Nate back on here probably within a week or so to end up our turkey season. It was, like I said, I'm excited to show you the videos I have so far with Nate. Hopefully we end it with a kill, but we still got, like Nate's going to go out tomorrow, and then we still got Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Oh, another thing with early hunters, be in shape. Especially if you go hunting with Cody, if you happen to, I don't know, win a trip or something, that could help you come out to the Johnson farm, maybe teach you some hunting stuff. Make sure you're in shape with him. He likes to take you on like 8 to 10 mile hikes or something like that. So
We checked on the map. It was less than a mile.
it said 0.98. He got the decimal wrong. It was 9.8 miles. So we went on.
Anyway, Matt, I'm going to close it out with a good hunting story.
Yeah, sure, man. I'll how about I do my buck from last year?
Works for
I'm gonna
me.
do it start to finish. So yeah, getting in, planning on doing kind of like an 11:30 to dark kind of thing. Like I said, November 3rd, so rut's pretty well should be firing off. But like I said, it was that first kind of cool-ish day after that string of hot days.
Yeah, it was hot.
So yeah, get out there, and I told myself I was gonna rattle every hour. Like on the hour once noon hit, rattle once one hit. So I get set up. I probably sit down after hanging in doing the harness. Yeah, couldn't think for a second. Getting my backpack up there and dragging my bow up, and finally probably get sit down about 11:45, I'd say. So right at noon, break out the rattle bag, and I didn't even get a chance to put it down yet, and here comes deer right at me.
That's nice.
Right out. I mean, I was like, oh my god, this is gonna be the easiest hunt of my entire life. This was awesome. It's a buck too. I can see him running through the woods right to me. He gets to 30 yards, and I get a clear picture of him. He's probably about a 115 or so, 8-pointer. So I mean, not a bad deer, but not just a deer I was particularly looking for. He moves on, does his own thing. He's milling around behind me forever because he's like, I know there was something going on over here. What's the matter? But he ends up moseying off, and then 1 o'clock, hit the bag again. He comes from the direction that I saw him walk away from. He comes running right back in and is underneath the tree now. I mean, right on me. He's like, all right, where's the action? What's going on here? And finally after 20, 30 minutes, he moseys off again, and 2 o'clock hits. Bang them together again. Same deer comes again, along with another buck, a little bit bigger buck. He was probably maybe a 120 or so, another 8-pointer, and he might have been a little bit bigger than that because I really thought about shooting that one. And he came in, worked with me perfect right out in front of my stand. Decided to pass on him. A couple does start filtering through here and there throughout the day. But I'll fast forward just a little bit. Every hour that I rattled, that same small buck came back. Every single time.
Better not do that when he gets big.
It was for real. It's like, can you do this next year? But evening's going on. It's sun's going down. It's right around 5 o'clock. Hit it for the last time. I was like, I'll shut it off here because I don't want to rattle right before dark, and then now I'm going to have to sit here for another hour and a half waiting for deer to filter out. And as soon as I'm turned around, hanging my rattle bag, and out of the corner of my right eye, I just see some tines coming. I mean, walking dead at me. I was like, oh, here we go. The thing was, he was so close to me that when I grabbed my bow, I couldn't turn around yet because he's 6 yards from the stand. So he's got me pinned down at this point. So I'm doing my best not to move, and I'm just kind of like peeking at him. I'm like, is this going to be the one I want to shoot? And I'm like, yep, it definitely is. It's definitely one I want to shoot. And so I literally have to watch him walk 8 yards in front of me in the wide open, and I can't turn and shoot him. And then he gets to where I made a mock scrape that day walking in, and it's at 18 yards. And he has his nose dead in it. And finally I was able to turn shoulders just a little bit and get settled on him, and I had a window maybe about 3 yards kind of each way between the trees, and stuck it right behind the shoulder. He took off like a bat out of hell and just running down one of our paths. And I thought I heard him crash, and I didn't, you know, at that point, like I said earlier, it's just kind of like you're in a blur. You're like, what just happened? But no, I waited for a bit, got down, blood right in the area where I'd shot him, and he broke the arrow off, and I lighted knock on, so I just walked to there. I was like, no sense in trying to track through this. I'll just walk to where the arrow broke off, and I'll start there. And there was some blood around it, but not a lot, so I just backed out. Came back in later that night, gave him some time to expire, and we're hardly finding any blood on this deer. Like it's and you know I'm picturing it in my head, and I got the Tacticam on my bow, so I got that, but it's, you know, when that shot goes off, it's blurry. Obviously.
Of course, because as soon as you shoot,
yeah,
pull the bow.
Well, I actually do a pretty good job of following him with my
better
bow.
than me then.
But it's that initial shot. I want to see like where my impact was. You can't really tell sometimes because you get shaky. But so we ended up tracking, finding some blood, but decided it was best to leave him for the morning. And you know, me and two other guys went back in. And I'll tell you what, the way that this deer ran, he's right down one of our mowed paths coming through the timber. From my stand, I don't realize this sitting in the stand, but walking the path the next day, I realize it. This mowed path kind of does a little bit of a turn out here right in front of the stand, and then kind of hooks back. And I can't really see that from the stand. So when he's running off, he's running on this path, and I see him hook to the right, and that's where I lose him, and I think he crashes. So that whole night and the next morning, I'm like, no, I know he eventually in here he swings to the right and gets out in front of the stand. So we're looking all basically the wrong direction for the entire morning. Yeah. And one of the guys, I was almost ready to call it because we couldn't find him, and we were out there for a while. And one of the guys was like, let's just keep walking down the path one go around and see what we find. We walked 60 yards from where we stopped tracking the night before, and there he's laying in the path, in the mowed path in the middle of the timber. Yeah, so we were high-fiving and taking pictures and hooting and hollering. It was,
how far did you make it all together?
He only probably made it maybe 150 or so, 150 yards. We just didn't have the blood to feel confident to keep tracking him.
Well, like, you know, when in doubt, back out.
Yep.
So.
Yep. Yeah. So literally, he was probably 60 yards from where we stopped the day before, and when we got there the next morning, we're just looking the complete wrong direction. So yeah, but no, it was a good story, good buck. Definitely happy with him.
Yeah. No, that's good. I know a lot of myself and a lot of my buddies, they struggled in November this year just because of how warm it was.
Yep.
So happy you had some luck. Well, other than that was Matt. We got Nate here, and then myself. So we're going to end this podcast and hope to see you next week. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.